As we get ready for this Cardinals Jaguars game, I want to thank Cardinals General Manager Monti Ossenfort for joining us right now on the Arizona Sports Line. Monti, thanks for the time. How's it going?
Doing good, guys. Doing good. Yeah, we've had a good week here. Getting ready. Got a good, big challenge ahead of us with the Jaguars, and we're ready to go for Sunday.
You know, you guys have been hit hard by injuries this year. I mean, at this point in the season, everybody's kind of beat up to a certain extent. How do you navigate that as you get into late November and into December?
Yeah, Luke. I mean, unfortunately, I think injuries are a part of the season, and we've seen that, and it's hit us. And I think, as we've seen, and year to year, sometimes it happens. It hits you at one position group in particular, and then you have to adjust. And so, with anything, I mean, I think there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of rotation that goes on, and people have to settle into new roles. That also brings opportunities for people that they may not have had. But unfortunately, injuries are a part of it, and it's not something new. And it's something that we've had to adjust through, and we've had some guys step up, and we're going to need that as we continue here through on. But we've talked like that's one of the worst parts of football is injuries, and we're no exception this year.
Monti, I never saw this coming, and I'm sure you didn't see this coming either. But 3-7 right now. What are your thoughts on being 3-7?
Yeah, Wolf. I mean, I don't think that this is where we thought we would be, and unfortunately, it's where we are. And so, there's no other way than to focus, put all of our time and attention into the next game, and that's what we're going to do. And so, what's in the past is in the past. We've had some games that could have went either way, and they didn't go our way, and then we've had the last couple that that didn't go at all the way we wanted them to. And so, there's going to be ups and downs during the season, and there's no other way to do it than to go straight through it. And I know our guys are up for the challenge, and we're going to do everything we can to go out there and put our effort on the field this week and get a win against Jacksonville.
Talking to Monti Ossenfort, Monti, those first 5 losses, that chunk, they were all one-score games. A lot of them were last-second kicks, and then the last 2 have been more lopsided. Do you differentiate at all between these last 2? And if so, what do you think has been the difference?
Well, I mean, ultimately, Luke, a loss is a loss, and it doesn't matter if it's close, if it's not, if you were ahead, you were behind, whatever it is. I think the big difference in these last couple games that we've talked a lot about is just how much the game changed early on, and so we fall behind early in both games, and the game changes. The strategy of the game changes, and how we're going to attack offensively, and how we're going to play defensively, and all those things. You have a plan going in, and then when the game changes like that and you fall behind 2 scores, like inevitably your plan goes out the window and you have to adjust. And so, that's, I would say, been the biggest difference between, that early part stretch of the schedule and these last 2. And so what we got to do a good job of is control what we can control and not get ourselves into a hole like we've been, like we've had the last 2 games, and give us a chance to go out there and just play normal ball for the full 60 minutes.
Monti, what are you focused on the rest of the way? You got 7 games left, of course. What are you focused on?
Completely focused week to week on getting a win that week, Wolf. That's all it is. It's, I think, it may sound cliche, but really when we come in here on Mondays and we go through the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's similar. We have our process, we have our structure, we go about the week the same way, and everything is focused on that next Sunday. And so, whether you're coming off a win, you're coming off a loss, the week looks the same. And so that's not going to change. That's never going to change. And so this week has been completely focused on how we're going to go about and attack Jacksonville and how we're going to go get a win.
Monti, do you, at this point in the season, do you allow yourself to look big picture? Like, are there things you need to see in the next 7 games for everybody to be back next year?
Well, I think that's always a balance, Luke. I mean, I think no matter how the season is going, there's always an immediate what's going on right now, and there's also there's also a big picture look, and that's part of what goes on in the chair that I sit in, and so that doesn't change no matter how the season is going. And so, I think we've had guys that have been thrown into positions and given more opportunities that maybe they weren't expecting to have at the start of the season, and we've been given given chances to go out there and operate and see how they perform. And so, I think that goes into every season. I don't think that's unique to, just week to week how the year is going. I think there's always a short-term and a long-term outlook on everything that we do throughout the course of the NFL season.
Monti, as you know, this is the biggest mercenary league on the face of the planet. This is the National Football League. People get fired. People get hired, of course. Does job security ever come into play in the decisions that you make?
No, that's never something, I think, again, Luke or Wolf, I think what we're doing right now is we're concentrating on what we can do to win the game this week. And so, hey, listen, I understand that the world we live in, I understand that the outside world is going to speculate and all that, but what we're focused on is what we can control, what we can improve, our mistakes that we've made the last couple of weeks, how we can clean those up, and what we can do to put us in a good position to go out there and get a win this Sunday.
Talking to Monti Ossenfort. Monti, when you see the performance by Michael Wilson against San Francisco, I know you're probably not expecting 15 catches for 185 yards every week, but does that show you guys something maybe more than he hadn't shown yet in his career, that maybe he can do something additional now going forward, even when Marv is back?
Well, I'd say, Luke, I'd say certainly the production stands out there with Mike. He had a great, really productive game this past week. But, I would say since Mike got here, Mike's been as consistent of a player as we've had. And whenever Mike's number's been called, he's been out there, he's performed, he's answered the bell. And so, yeah, he got some more opportunities this week or this past week, and the ball found him a few more times. But, Mike's been a consistent player. He's an NFL caliber wide receiver who gets open, he catches the ball, he's tough, he's physical, he runs after the catch, and he does a good job in the run game as well as a blocker. And so, it was great to see him have that production and for that that notoriety to come with it. But we've been happy since the day that Mike got here with what he brings to the table and what he performs for us on and off the field.
So, Monti, do you see yourself playing younger guys right now to see what you've got with some of these young guys? Do you anticipate playing young guys the rest of the way?
Wolf, I'd say we're playing young guys already, and I think we've shown that over our first couple of years.
We're not younger guys.
Well, I'd say we're going to play the guys that put us in a position to win, and that's really the case. And so, when guys have opportunities and they take advantage of those opportunities, well, then what happens is they get more opportunities. And so, whether that's young guys, old guys that have been around a couple of years, the guys that give us the best chance are going to be out there. And, we've been fortunate that we've had some young players be out there and give us good snaps. Cody Simon stepped in the last couple of weeks and played really good ball, stepping in with a green dot. Denzel Burke, he's played good ball for us. Keaton Crawford's got some more opportunities. We're going to get Will Johnson back on the field here at some point. So, there's been a lot of young players out there, and I know that we have others that if their number's called, they'll be ready for that opportunity.
We're talking to Monti Ossenfort. Monti, when you look at the running game this year, why do you think it hasn't been as successful as it has been really your first 2 years here? And I guess the second part of that is, what do you expect to see from Trey Benson when he comes back?
Yeah, I think a lot goes into that. The running game is really all 11 guys, and so, to say that it's been one thing, I think there's been a few things. I think there's been some, we obviously had the injuries. We've at times we've been down 1, 2, 3 backs that we started the season with, and so that certainly plays into it. I think there's been some, there's been times where we've had the play blocked up and one guy misses an assignment or one guy gets beat in a one-on-one matchup, and that happens. And so, I think a lot goes into the run game. I think it's hard to pin on just to say, hey, there's been one thing that we're that exactly to blame for the deficiency in the run game. But I think when Trey gets back out there, when he gets to a chance, he'll have another chance to get out there and provide a spark to us. And we're going to have to run the ball. We're going to play some good defenses. We're going to have to be more balanced than we were last week. We threw the ball out of necessity because of where the game went and being behind like that. But we're going to have to run the ball better, and that's going to take all 11 guys performing at a high level to get the ground game going.
Monti, your thoughts on the offensive line and how the offensive line has contributed to 3-7 this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think with everything, Wolf, I think there's been some good and there's been some bad. I mean, I think you look back at last week and very rare, it's hard to throw the ball 57 times and not give up a sack. And so, that was a positive. And so, and there's been other times where, hey, there's been some things that we have to do better. And our O-line would be the first to admit that. And so, I think it's similar to the rest of our team. There's been some inconsistent performances. There's been some good, there's been some bad. And when you have those ups and downs, it's hard to get into some continuity there, whether it be the run game or the pass game. So, certainly there's things that we have to do better, and those are things that we're going to focus on here, especially as we go into Jacksonville this week.
Well, Monty, we appreciate this as always. We'll talk to you again soon, okay?
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend. We'll see you on Sunday.
All right. You too. Take care. That's Monti Ossenfort joining us right there on the Arizona Sports Line ahead of the Cardinals-Jaguars matchup from State Farm Stadium on Sunday.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.